The goals are to preserve the integrity and grow the integrity of the band, to further define what they are, and basically this summer to make a great record.
This is an important show. There's like, you know how much we fucked our career up by doing this? A lot. It's my fault. You know what? Fuck them. I've had a good time. I've had a really good time actually tonight. I've enjoyed myself. I've been on tour for like 2 months. I've enjoyed myself twice in 2 months. This is the second fucking time. Look, if we make it through this next song, I'll be a lucky motherfucking son of a bitch. I would like to say, you know what? Just don't pay us. But we need the money really bad. Because we're broke. We're so fucking broke. We need the money or else I'd say, look, we fucked up. We fucked it all up. Don't pay us. I can't afford to say that. No, we need the money. Or else we can't get home. I apparently cannot keep in time with you. Roy, I owe Roy a lot of money for this show because I fucked it up. I'm going drinking with Glenn. When this is all done, don't matter much. All right, Roy, quit on us. We're done. Look, Roy knows. I fucked him over. We're done. I am drunk. All the shots are gone. I'm drunk.
Now shut up, play that guitar. Just shut up.
You want to be in the same spot in 5 more years, 6 more years. No, you don't look good on a credit application. When you can't always be planning for the future, you need a sustainable income right now. And I'm like, we're close, and I think we can do it.
I got $20. It's my per diem for today and tomorrow, though.
Are you gonna spend it all right now?
I don't know. I've only got one single that's $5, but this is like 4 days worth of records for me, and I'm having to look. I got all night, and I'm acting like I don't. So I'm freaking out. But yeah, probably.
Constant in my thoughts, a sweet little thing.
April of '98 was our first show. Brian had seen my old bands play, and he came up and asked if I wanted to start a country band, and so figured I'd try something different. Now we're doing between 150 and 200 shows a year.
A constant in my thoughts, a sweet little thing. Somehow we both got lost.
Yeah, there's 60 songs about girls and then 2 about my grandfather.
Yeah, speaking about the songs about girls, who is this girl that obviously had a great effect on you?
There's a few of them.
One?
Yeah. There's definitely more than one. There's not one. It's just Brian. Brian is that girl. Yes.
Sweet little thing. Never understood the way I'd stay up all night, the way I tremble in your arms.
Yeah, they say wait till 2:30, so we're just waiting it out.
Come on, man.
So thank y'all for putting up with the rain. I didn't think nobody'd be here, so that's all y'all.
We're not like, yeah, we're best band in the world. We're still just like, oh my God, do you see how many people are out there? Yes.
You got Anthony Hamilton and Dougie Fresh later tonight. And then a rock and roll pioneer will be here at 8 o'clock. His name is Jerry Lee Lewis, and y'all better pay your respects. But right now, the sexiest band in Memphis, according to the Memphis Fire. Give a big round of applause for the homeboys, Lucero.
So to a certain degree, after playing for so long and the Memphis community supporting you, you know, on so many different levels for such a long amount of time, it's like you almost feel like you can't let them down.
That night ain't gonna be good. We're back is what I hear me say talk. No, it ain't no good.
Ben told me that ever since he was a little kid he wanted to do it. I was like, you didn't want to be a fireman or, no, I want to play music and travel, you know. I don't want to fly helicopters, but this is you know, this is just as good, I guess.
This is kind of how I write down beats. These are kind of simple beats. It's just lines, B is bass drum, S is snare.
He just loves to play drums. And I was like, okay, Ben, this guy wants to drum for us. I can't understand a word he's saying. I don't know if he's any good, you know. And he went, boom, shot, click, boom, shot, brat, smack the floor, brat, crack, smack, chomp, da, 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 da. And I think I stopped playing. I mean, it was like, what the fuck? Holy shit.
This is the first draft of every possible beat in the 4 count. As long as the hi-hat and snare's in the same place.
I don't know, he was like a computer nerd back in the early days of computers.
I've never heard of any other drummer having figured out every possible drum pattern by using binary or trinary bass numbers. It was like a weird spark. Like, wait, I can connect these 2 worlds that I was involved in.
It's funny to have people with signs that say I love Lucero. That's never happened before, I don't think.
I'm like Eric B. and Rakim, motherfucker. I am paid in full.
Hope is that you don't just play for the same 200 people. Obviously, you want your headlining fan base to grow as more people hear about your music, but you also want to play with other bands and basically, you know, play to people that wouldn't ordinarily know who you are and grow the touring business.
A manager or a lawyer, they get involved and they work for free until you sign, you know, they're looking for the band to sign either a major label deal and get $100,000 advance, and they get their 10%, you know, or a publishing deal, and they'll get their 10% of that. And so last time I saw Thaddeus, I was like, what? We might not ever do either of those things. I would love it if we did. If it was the right thing to do, I would consider doing it.
I feel like it's a really crucial time for them to put out a really good record and to have it supported well and on a good label and with a good group of people surrounding them. I think that they have the opportunity, if everything falls correctly and if luck happens to also be on their side, to do really, really well.
We've played 1 million shows and so many shows just to where, oh, okay, tonight so-and-so is going to be here. Apparently we've fucked it up every time because no one ever comes up and talks to me afterwards. So I've never actually had an important conversation with anyone after one of these important shows. So either we're fucking it up every time or it actually ain't that important.
Nights like these make me sleep all day. Nights like these make you feel so far away. Nights like these, knowing it's for sure
songs are you're leaving and the girl wants you to stay, or the girl's leaving and you want her to stay. Yeah, most of the songs are, it's what everyone goes through. And it is, yeah, you're staying up all night sweating, and you're driving around aimlessly because you got nowhere to go and nobody to talk to.
Nights like these, I feel like giving up. Nights like these, I don't seem to count much, and I've only got this one wish that's good enough to make you forget. Oh, boy, when I broke your heart, nights like these tear me apart. Beer tastes like blood, my mouth's numb. Hell, I can't make the words I need to say. And she had a weakness for writers now. I was never that good with words. Anyways, get 'em up, get 'em up. Hey, hey. I've only got this one wish. I wish I could not make it forget. But only boy, ever broke your heart. Nights like these tear me apart. Hell, we've been on tour since about forever ago. Let's say mid-February. And y'all might be the most rock and roll fucking kick-ass crowd we've had so far.
There's something that Ben brings that's a cross between Bruce Springsteen and Kurt Cobain and Willie Nelson and all of these amazing musicians. And I think that Ben, at some point, will be recognized like that.
There are these certain times in your life where there's a band that comes along and just makes you really feel music again, and makes you really realize why you started writing songs, and that, like, why your heart is in music.
Come on, one more. Smile! Live in the studio today in New York, it's Lucero, Roy, John, and Ben. But more importantly, based in Memphis, right?
Yes.
You're touring all the time.
We keep pretty busy. Yeah. Between, 150, 200 days a year, we're out on the road.
Now, is that out of necessity, because it's sort of the word of mouth thing, or is it just with pure passion?
Maybe both. But yeah, for a band at our level, the best way to get a bigger audience is, you go out and play from town to town and just win them over one by one.
One by one?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, we're going to take it back to the people is basically what's going on.
Sounds like you've already been doing that. One by one.
One by one.
One day at a time.
They're not in it to go, we're going to play 75 minutes and then we're rolling out, I mean, they're in it to play until everybody's like, damn, everything's done. Like, there's no other songs we can really request.
All right, I think we just got cut off. So thank you all very much for coming out tonight. We're listening up.
So we played, having a hell of a show, everybody's singing along, whatever. Ben gets real drunk, and he wants to play one more song. Ben came in and started playing in the corner to these people, and about 10 people were watching. He plays one song, he's playing one, our end of it, I understand their end. They need to get everybody out as soon as possible.
crowd's having fun and responding and enjoying it, there's no reason to stop. It's what we do, it's what we love. You know? So.
When he comes back, lo and behold, with the guitar and sits down and starts strumming away. And there he goes. He made a promise and he kept it.
They ain't kicking people out of here, are they?
Ben wanting to give the crowd everything he's got for that night. I mean, he will play until he can't fucking stand up anymore.
At the level we're at now, I do appreciate every one of those people being there. And so yeah, I'll do what I can.
They make a connection with their fans, and Ben's lyrics really speak to people. I think that people have an easy time incorporating how he feels at that moment in time when he wrote that song with how they feel in their life, and it gives them a sense of feeling okay. That, you know, hey, some people feel like that too.
I was introduced to them at the right point in time because I was going through girl problems like a lot of guys do, and it really sucked ass.
Heath with the tattoos is extreme.
Their music's total therapy. There's nobody who cannot relate to their music. I mean, just pure energy. They'll tell you, I'll be right up front center singing the songs with all them girls. You know, I don't give a shit. It's everything they are. The only difference is now I don't have anybody to sing the songs to, which is good for me, trust me. But I still love the songs just the same. Like, that's not gonna change.
Hell, I tried. I can't run no more. Until Katie said I adore. As long as I love her best, that much further away.
We scrape by barely. We don't make any money beyond rent and food, and yeah, and that's about it, really. Like, we're making more money than a lot of bands, but most bands aren't on the road as much and work jobs.
How do you manage to balance the life, you know, vigorous live touring?
Oh, there is no
That
balance.
is the life. That is life. There's no life tack on much.
Really?
Yeah.
What have you had to sacrifice, Roy?
A pizza job. You know, I don't have a college degree, so.
To do what we do, and to go on tour as much as we do, you pretty much have to be willing to give up your life at home.
It's what I've wanted to do forever. I've kind of set myself up for it. I don't have but about $150 rent. And I have no bills, no credit cards, no car, no family, no dog. You know, none of that. Well, I have family, but I don't have a wife or kid.
And yeah, I would have a much harder time selling this to my parents if we weren't on tour, you know, 180 days a year, 200 days a year. And my dad, of course, was like, there's no way to do it and make money. But now that we've been on the road so much, he's kind of come around, and he knows that we're playing to a bunch of people all over the country, and he was real impressed with our merchandise line. If I was in a band and didn't have a job and we just sat around here all the time, yeah, that'd be a much tougher sell to the folks.
They turned me into a man. I was telling them earlier, like, I've grown testicles and a penis since entering their band culture. Okay, this is Donna calling with Lucero. I just want to let you know we're running a little bit late. We got lost. I call in advance to shows and make sure they have beer. Make sure the ladies show up on time. I sell merch is my big job. That's the glamour part of it.
much.
Hey man, your fucking music moves me, man. I have a really good time listening to your stuff. Record it live, whatever.
I want to meet y'all. I want to see y'all live. I've heard your first two singles. I want to hear your third.
Yeah.
How many times? Three.
Baby.
I think it's my turn.
And this is the part where I want to go to the hotel and watch TV and drink milk and cookies. Let them do their thing.
When you know half the folks in the audience and they're all singing their brains out and everybody's going nuts and beer's being spilled everywhere and people are hanging from the rafters, yeah, that's good.
Zero, fucking number one. I love them. Ew.
In the morning, it's the wide open road. Take it far enough and it'll bring me back home. She said, I'll watch them carry you to the back. Couldn't say goodbye with you.
As far as money goes, we'll take half of it, put it in a band fund, and that goes to rent, and it goes to, sometimes it goes to the band payment. Since we have no health insurance, it'll go to, like when Roy's back went out, it covered the emergency room bill.
The band being a family, you know, if someone gets sick, the band's gonna pay for it.
I woke up one morning and my back hurt a lot because I'm not sure why. Then I went to the chiropractor, and while I was there, he told me I might have a disc problem and something weird like that. If I played drums, it might mess me up. So I came back and told them that, and we talked about it, and we ended up canceling the first 3 shows so I could go back a few more times. But by the end of the few more times, he told me it probably wasn't a disc problem.
I've never seen it, but a lot of drummers throw their head up and down and go up and down with that, and the repetitive bouncing of your head up and down over years and decades causes repetitive trauma, and so he's got some unusual configurations in his neck.
But he wanted me to go to the chiropractor every day on tour, which is kind of impossible. So I figured alcohol's a good muscle relaxer, and I just took my medicine every day.
Roy's going to have a bad back whether he's in the band or not. And I'm not going to babysit anybody to the level of, you know, saying, Roy, you got to stop smoking because it's going to kill you when you're 90. I mean, these are things that are obvious. What I'm getting at with health insurance is it's the biggest obstacle to me. I feel it's the biggest obstacle to them being a successful band.
I don't know if we'd ever be as big as someone like Wilco, but I think we could do it. I don't know. I think we could handle that level of touring and that level of those audience numbers.
We want to go from 200 people to 1,000 people, and it just happened.
Whatever sort of steps up we take, we usually try to make them logical steps up. Like, we don't want to go do something irrational like sign a major deal today because we'll get lost in the shuffle. We want to basically continue on. We don't want to write our own
finish line.
Redneck no more.
This has really brought me back to the core of what I love, and it reminds me every single night of why I wanted to be in music and why I wanted to work in music. Because this is like the real thing every night. You know, it's not money and it's not business or anything like that. Like their only concern is, you know, do we have enough beer to get us through the night? Do we have enough money to get us home? And did we play a good set?
Little silver heart, let's once adored. You don't win my heart, redneck no more. All tears I cry for you don't mean a thing. All tears you cry for me, they won't shake me. We've prided ourselves, at least on this tour. Most previous tours it's not the case, but on this tour just nothing but professional. I think right now might be a good time for a story. Just let me have it, fellas. Story in Knoxville, Tennessee. College fucking town, alright? It's just like sorority girls fucking everywhere. Oh my god. It was ridiculous. Not quite like it is here. I think we might fit in better with you people. I think you might be our kind of crowd. I mean, they're nice. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Don't tell them that in Knoxville. And in fact, if anyone drove up from Knoxville, thank you. But really, we like it here a lot. The point of the story is, sorority girls took my drummer backstage and spanked the fuck out of him. They spanked him. I knew I wouldn't make it through the night without telling that. I've forgotten the words now. I got so excited about the story. You're too sweet to let go of. Oh, girl, I don't need to fall in love. I'm too tired to talk my way out of this one. It's a losing game I've had enough. Spank the shit out of him.
We signed up for 2 records with Tiger Style. We've done one. We're contractually obliged to do another. They're refusing to put out new records. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
You're between labels right now?
We are. Tiger Style is now on hiatus, is what they're saying. Which means, yes, we're looking for somebody else. And we've been talking to different people. And I think we'll be able to put out another record early next year, I think, with someone.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild time. It's almost like watching the pillars of Rome fall, so to speak, but as far as the whole industry is concerned. But I'm not really worried about it. I think it's a great thing, actually, that we can get out and then have, you know, almost generate some hype. Just the fact that we don't have a label has, like, gotten us a lot of attention.
Yeah, there's tons of small labels out there, and there's tons of bands starting their own labels and putting their own stuff out. There's a number of different ways you can go about it, and yeah, you're not with everything changing in the music industry. There's a lot of different ways to go about getting your stuff out there.
So there's no sort of sleepless nights on the decision of which way
No,
you should go?
no, not yet, not yet.
I'm in the wrong business. You know what I mean? Like, music industry is just crumbling.
We need to get on our website, download everything to MP3, screw the labels, sell that shit for $1 a song, and make a killing.
Band's rehearsing, writing songs now, demoing, preparing to make a record. They're going to make a record this summer. It's going to come out early next year. I want it to sell double or triple what the last record did. I want to go from currently like 10,000 SoundScan to 20 or 30. I mean, we'd be happy with 18, but there's a real ability to make a great record and to expose it more.
It is definitely tough trying to make a song into what it should be, because you got 4 guys all wanting to do what they think is right, which is usually very heavily dependent upon their part, and they all want their part to be important, but sometimes it's important for their part not to be there, and so yeah, it gets tricky. It gets real tricky.
Production all the way through. It's like G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A. Hey, John. I don't know. Did I miss anything, dude? No. Stop that.
So this song, The Bike Riders, it's a type of song that I don't really write very often, where it's not about me at all, and it doesn't involve any personal experiences of mine. I was excited when I finished the words to that song, and then I got even more excited about it today when I heard what the beats would sound like. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's going the right way.
There's always, after each verse, there's an O-O-O part. So it's like sparse verse, sparse O-O-O, rockin' verse, rockin' O-O-O, and then chorus.
I was excited to see what the band did with it. And now that I heard Roy's part, I'm even more excited about it. Like, I can't wait to work on it more. Like, I could have played that song 20 times in a row today and been happy. Just because there's no tape of it to listen to. So the only way I get to hear it is when we play it. And that's good. That's a good sign.
It's a little Jack and Diane, a little something else, but that is fine with me. Little True Life Crew.
And so at least if you can sit down and write songs, you feel like you're being productive and you feel like you're doing something and that you're doing something cool that might be even better than what you would be doing otherwise. So you're kind of like, fuck y'all, I'm fine, I can do my own thing. But then of course you just end up singing about wanting to be where they are. But it gets you through, yeah, it gets you through.
I got drafted at 19. Man, a bunch of boys from home. It's January 43. We drove out to Pine Bluff and signed on. Went to basic south of Birmingham. Put me on West Coast bound train. I spent 3 days out in San Diego, and they shipped me back east again. I left a port out of New York and slept for months in British rain, and tore it up down in London town, and they shipped me back out again. And the preacher said, boys, he was killed tonight. We'll dine with the Lord in paradise. Then one boy spoke up. They said, preacher, come on, eat your supper with us.
Ben writes the most incredible lyrics because they're from the heart. He's not writing them to impress anybody. I think he's just writing down how he feels, and that comes over. And a lot of bands don't have that soul.
All the way across France, and I fought at Maginot Line. Rode a tank into Belgium. I like them better than the French. Like my daddy 30 years before, I did my time in the trench. Lots of days there's no water, but the liquor kept me warm. Their cellars were stocked to the ceilings with booze, so I carried a bottle with my gun. And the preacher said, boys, he was killed tonight. We're down with the Lord Paradise. Then one boy spoke up, they said, preacher, come on, and eat your supper with us.
We're finally ready to really make a real record.
And right now, yeah, I want to make a rock and roll record, and we've never done it before. There were actually elements of it on every record we've made, but this record is more of a rock and roll record. He walks down. Yeah, we're just scared to death because there's so many decisions to make, and we're in the proper spot to make 2 decisions. And I don't even know what the decisions are, but yeah, no, we can't make decisions.
This is the easy stuff too. This is finally like we're taking 2 weeks off and we're gonna play. You don't have to find a lawyer.
No, it's great.
You don't have to sue somebody. You don't have to ASCAP BMI. You don't have to pick a booking agent.
And we owe all that to Jim. We do. We owe all of that to Jim. The fact that we can come down here, and he was like, yeah, we'll figure it all out later. Right now, let's just make a record.
Started out just as a place to store my old broken equipment, and it started to sound so good that we got trapped in it. It's got a sound of its own, and I think it's real appropriate for this era.
He played piano on the Wild Horses. He recorded half the records I grew up with. The first Replacements record I ever bought was Pleased to Meet Me, because it was playing in the record store, you know? And you just realize that your history, your personal musical history, falls into step with him. It's 1 degree of separation from the Replacements.
Really, we've done 4 records. The Attic Tapes, self-titled, Tennessee, that much further west. And unfortunately, we're slow learners, but we finally learned kind of what it takes to make a good record. And it's stuff I don't understand. It's stuff that Jim understands. I trust Jim Dickinson enough. I respect him enough to say, okay, we're gonna come in, we're gonna play live. We're not gonna do overdubs, really. Like, we'll fix some shit here and there, but we'll put an acoustic guitar on here and there. But for the most part, it's 2 guitars, bass and drums, vocals. It's what we do live. How are the vocals on Crystal Blue right there?
Pretty good. I've only got 3 vocals other than the 3 unfinished songs that trouble me. And like that, just then listening to Bike Rider, it was better than I thought.
It was better than it was, yeah. There's the one line.
There's some places where you lose words.
Right.
The more and more that story is being revealed, the more everybody gets
and
out of your way.
It'll, yeah. And that might be a song. Yeah, there's just so many words. It'll be a time or two before you get the
The
story.
hitting with the
from
bar stool, he landed on his feet is too good a line. You got to understand.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got to
you
get
do.
all those lines out.
Yeah. Well, let's keep the take of it we got, and
Yeah.
I'll try another one, and we'll just see if I get lucky and say everything right.
With some groups, you just hold up a mirror, and that could be frightening. I'm trying to do a little more than that here, to where it's a little more cartoonish in a way than just painting a picture. This is more like an exaggeration. I think Brian's the key to it. The non sequitur, apparently non sequitur thing that Brian's doing is crucial to what this band is about.
For once, I felt not important, but like my guitar parts were integral. He doesn't love what I do necessarily, he loves what people like me do. You know what I mean? The untrained, raw, get it all down, you know, I might as well be outsider art to him or something.
All right, let's give it another shot.
I think good music shoots sparks, and I like to kind of try to put a magnifying glass on the sparks. You know, if I were to put verbiage to what it is I'm doing, that's kind of what I'm doing.
Dickinson and Kevin Houston, the engineer, are working for free right now. And with the understanding that when the record gets picked up by the label, money comes in and we pay them. Hopefully a fair amount. I have no idea. I have no idea what kind of money we're talking about.
And I heard him telling Kevin Houston that to let Roy do whatever, like whatever Roy, you just set up around Roy. I think he thinks Roy's really a genius.
Listening to your own album is a little weird. Like, you do pick it apart, and it's almost, you feel a little egotistical, but sometimes you need that. Say you're wondering what you've done with your life or something, you put on your record and go, yes, I've done something.
Now shut up and play that guitar. Just shut up and play that guitar.
It's one of my favorite records so far that we've done. I'm anxious to hear it mixed.
All right, well, we'll try it in a second. Let me try. I'm gonna go out there and write one more line for the California song, and then we'll try to sing it. All right. You got a nice hand, but never show your cards. That'll work fine. Yeah.
What's that mean?
I don't know what it means, but I wrote it last night and I kind of like it.
Oh, don't think I'm not gonna do it.
Took away my girl in Texas. Yeah, New Orleans. Down there nearby.
Of course you're gonna keep those words. That's amazing.
All right, good. All right.
Although
So
the
that
si-
way.
Yeah.
Okay. So I scrap
hands.
everything. I keep the chorus from this, but the bridge from the other one. So it's all good. No,
Just
don't
the
worry.
states and the girls.
The states and the girls.
And you can leave the thing about the cars at the end.
I think Brian thinks he's in the Grateful Dead.
Business level, they're hardworking. I mean, they're great. I mean, they're doing everything right. And if they make great art, the business will fall in place.
I want us to keep being able to make records, you know, and for that to happen, it all hinges upon the next record we make. You know, you're only as good as, on a certain level, you know, you're only as good as your last performance. You're only as good as your last record.
Maybe they'll be able to, this album, be able to let them be able to play music and live, you know, hopefully not all together in a warehouse.
We don't own any of the master recordings, really, for any of the past records. I would like to license this record to a record label for a certain amount of time, 5, 7, 10 years, whatever it is. And it doesn't really matter to me, whatever it is. To where after that amount of time passes, all rights to the record revert back to us. Ownership of the actual record. Not only the publishing, but the actual sound recordings. And we'll see if somebody goes for that. Well, let's tackle the bike riders.
I think you find it's a lot easier to sing than it was because we've whittled away a lot of them.
Cool. Okay. All right. No sweat. Let me see. God, I think I've got pneumonia.
Smoke up.
I think that's what I need. First words of the day basically is, Kathy met a girlfriend at a place over on Grand. It's tough.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Kathy met a girlfriend at a place over on Grand. Swore if she got out alive, she'd not go back again. The fellas didn't know her and they scared her half to death. Handprints on her jeans, she would've just got up and left. That's when she saw Benny stand over by the bar. Sat back down and waited till he came over to talk. And later on that night as she was walking out the door, Benny started up as by the boys came out for more. I picked her up and put her on the back of Benny's bike. That cat has been with Benny ever since that night. Tried to leave her many times, can't quite get away. See more jokes, of course, Lord, than she likes to say. That Benny's always been a fire, that'll never change. Kathy takes a moment, hills them up, it's all the same. They made it from the club room all the way out to the street. They beat him with bar stools, but he made it on his feet.
As long as I think the songs that I'm writing are good, and as long as I think we're putting out good records, and as long as there's an audience to play to, and as long as we can go out on the road and come back and scrape by, that's, yeah, we're successful so far.
I'm sorry, don't you know? I'm sorry, don't you know?
Lucero are a career band. They are going to take this from playing 500 seaters to 1,000 seaters to, you know, in my opinion, even beyond that, because they built up this fan base the right way. They didn't sit around and wait for anybody to come along and do it for them. And that's what a lot of bands forget these days, is that if you want it, you have to go out there and make it happen. And that's what Lucero did. They didn't sit on their asses.
It's the make or break point, at least with this next record and the one after that. If they both go poorly, yeah, I'm a welder, you know?
Are you tempted, or have you had any of the courtings, flirtations with the big corporates?
Not many.
They'll be coming.
Maybe one day, and we'll just have to, you know, we'll have to play that by ear.
Okay.
We're definitely happy making records on our own with you know, very respectable indie rock labels, and going out on the road and playing the music. We don't necessarily have to have. There's a lot you can do without a major label. No, I'd love to hear what they had to say. Sure, I'll listen.
up until this point, all the business aspects of it have all transpired or happened upon a handshake, and we've just been, as a group, have just been so flabbergasted and floored and overly excited that anybody would even think that we were worth two shits, would be interested in it. It's a handshake deal, and that's that.
If you were a music lawyer and I showed you the agreement they signed with Mad Jack, you'd laugh, but then you'd sort of scratch your head because you can't even figure out what it's saying.
The trick with most of our careers, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
we have no idea. And sometimes it works to our advantage, and a lot of times it doesn't.
Mad Jack gave us one royalty check,
We had a
2 of the
check
4
made out to
checks
each of us.
bounced. They've SoundsGAN 7,500 copies of Tennessee.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's 250 times 7. That's 14 grand they owe us in royalties.
We're at the CMJ show at Rothko's here in Manhattan. We played CMJ last year at the Tiger Style Showcase. I'm actually kind of optimistic about it. I think it might turn out okay. But the showcase industry type shows do end up feeling a little bit more like work than a real show.
I mean, I've heard things that like every band that played it last year got signed to a major, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like dumb pressure building stuff.
Thaddeus told me not to drink. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna tell him that, he's like, okay, Ben, we can play last if we want, but I'm gonna tell him that you're gonna lay off the sauce. And, I was like, all right, Thaddeus, I'll lay off the sauce for this one night. We got done recording the record with Jim Dickinson like August 12th or 14th, something like that. We actually haven't heard it since we left the barn.
Hopefully he's mixed some of it or all of it by the time we get home in 4 days. But I have a feeling we're probably not going to hear it till December.
For us, well, for me personally, playing the new songs is the funnest part of the night. We're at an industry showcase. Yeah, and that's pretty much what it boils down to for us. You get to put the badge on, act stupid.
You're 16 when you fell in love, all grown up now.
People are asking us what we're looking for in a label, and like what we're gonna do now that we're looking for someone else. And it doesn't matter so much what label it is and what other bands are on that label. If you've got people that are excited about it and just really appreciate it.
Drink over the noise as she plays, sings in time. I am somewhat satisfied. Her lips moving with the words, her hips swaying as she turns. Way from the bar outside, our band will play all night. You're 16 when you fell in love, and no one told you won't be enough. Beat the odds one night, 22.
We've briefly mentioned doing something after the split with Jade Tree, and then Polyvinyl's been interested, and Eyeball Records in New York has been interested, and a handful of others. Mainly independent records, which is exactly what I want to do. I've never actually, I might have talked to one person who might have sincerely been interested from a major label. But I don't even want to, I've got enough to think about right now, and I don't want to go there. We're not big enough to go to a major label. We're just not. all of the labels we've talked to. We've had a lot of conversations, especially over the last month with these people. Lately, another option came up for an interesting deal. Warner Brothers wants to start a label group, basically, which would leave a lot of control and actually a lot of the ownership of the records in the hands of the bands. It's something new that's never been done before, really. And it's a very intriguing proposition.
We're bridging the world between a true independent label and the major label. So I look at us as a very, very well-funded independent label with a lot more resources because we do have access to everything the Warner Music Group has to offer. So what we try to do is kind of tame the monster down a little bit.
And so they want to start a label group where we record records and we basically form our own label that puts out these records. Warner Brothers would fund the records and supply us with a staff of 8 to 12 people.
The band is really steering the ship, and we're out there kind of pushing it along. And we're financially putting up, taking the risk with them, but we believe that there's something there. I mean, this band is, really built something with limited resources.
With a deal like that, where you actually own the masters, whether you're upstreamed or not, it's that much bigger a deal. It's that much more important to us. Not only financially, but just, mainly financially, but also just, it's ours, and we made it, and it's ours. And we've never had that option before, not with Mad Jack, not with Tiger Style, not with any of the other labels we've been talking to.
So we're going to come in and try and take what they've built, double, triple it, or, really see how far it can go.
And it's basically you're starting fresh with a new label that no one's ever heard of, except for your fans might know that it's tied into you, but other than that, it's a brand new entity. And that's one of the things about the new deal that is a little scary.
With Lucero, it's just, we love the record, we like the band, there's a great story there. I mean, this is a band that can tour with Against Me and open up for Yellow Card and still go out with Drive-By Truckers and My Morning Jacket, and that to me is what's really exciting. Because I think what it is that Ben is a great lyricist, and you can connect to him whether you're a 40-year-old Americana fan or you're a 16-year-old kid who loves Dashboard. We have to maximize that, and that's, when we do that, I think that's when we'll be successful. No matter what, I say this to all the bands on Triple Crown, it's got to be a reciprocal thing. The band's got to work just as hard. The band's got to stay on the road and build it one fan at a time.
As an artist, as a musician, you never hear that. You never hear, all right, we'll put this record out for you and you'll own it. That doesn't ever come up. So yeah, it catches you, off guard, and you've got to consider it.
Ready? Can I boss people around now?
Yes,
Okay.
tell them what to do.
You? Here.
All right.
And, yeah, we'll see how this works. And the rest of the band position themselves accordingly. However you feel comfortable.
That's not enough direction.
Not nearly enough? Okay.
Like, this might be all you get. Keep it at that.
Really?
Yeah, we need a lot of help. Finally, after months of talking to different people and trying to make a decision, we decided to start our own imprint and sign a deal where the record's put out in conjunction with East West. And the release date's May 24th.
We're getting paid as a label and as the artist.
It's
and
worth
keeping our masters.
It's worth giving it a shot and actually make a little money for once. It'll be more work for us, and it'll be a lot more work for Thaddeus too, actually. He'll be a major part of, since he's in New York and East West is in New York, he'll be a major part of kind of going between us and them, and he'll be a major part of representing Liberty in the Mid Records. And so, yeah, he's up for it though, and he's run a record label all on his own before, and he knows the ins and outs of everything pretty well. So I feel fairly comfortable. You don't?
You don't? So now you don't feel comfortable after?
You don't feel comfortable with what, John? No, it does.
Oh, there it is.
Come on, what are you talking about?
That's weird.
We just don't know, dude. Because he won't tell us.
We'll walk out the door and not tell us. When we had the meeting,
Yeah.
and it was like, we want to do this East-West deal, and he was like, okay.
We were all there.
When, you know,
We made the
and I
decision
watched him.
together.
He huffed and puffed about signing this contract.
Huh.
You
I
know?
don't know, but he won't tell you what his problems are with it.
It's a major label deal. We're gonna get screwed or some whatever.
Yeah, but even Jim doesn't think it's
Nobody
necessarily a bad idea.
Nobody thinks it's a bad idea.
Because we didn't sign to a major label.
It's a pressing
It's
distribution deal.
if Warner Brothers would have come and said, we want to sign you up for a 5-record deal right now, we would have said no. That's not what they said, and that's not what we
Now, if
did.
we put out these 2 records,
Because that would be a bad
and they upstream us, and they pay us off whatever, and we sell 50,000 copies, we have a contract that says we're going to make real band money, not cold call money.
Decent money.
Yeah.
Probably about we could each make about what a substitute teacher makes a year. I think we'll each make maybe 15 grand to 20 grand a year.
And that's twice as much.
Which is
more than I've ever
5
paid.
times what we've been paid.
I've never been paid more than $8,000 a year.
So I'm gonna no, fuck it. I'm gonna come down there and talk to you, alright? I'll be down there 1 second.
Yeah.
Alright, no more pictures.
Finding out bits and pieces of things, you know, during an interview. Just, you know, it just seems a little weird. So then you want to discuss those things, but it's not really proper in front, you know, there were other random people in the room and stuff, and just, you know.
Alright, you've got a very respected indie label that tons of bands would kill to get on. What would make you not do that? That's what came up. Exactly that came up. No, it'll come in a few days. It probably won't come before you leave.
Got my checks. You have a checking account now?
Yes.
It's pretty exciting.
I haven't had one since 1987. They don't fill my number.
The last thing I've been thinking about over the last month, over the last 6 weeks, is, you know, are these songs the best they can be? Have I written good songs? Will people like this record? That I'm just like, I'm doing what I'm doing. There it is, bam. Okay, let's deal with the business for right now. But when it comes right down to it, the business is only made and is only dealt with because of the quality of the songs.
So my little brother,
We'll see how this goes. We should have practiced.
probably up in jail. The stories that it tells us, whiskey nights and rodeos, the strippers down and all.
Tour starts now.
Let's work our way towards the big ledge in the record store.
We never said screw major label. I mean, we did say, I mean, we hate it. We're very redneck, poor, southern, distrustful of anything big. But I mean, they're nice as crap. So, I don't know. I mean, we haven't been screwed yet. So, hold your breath.
All right, thank y'all very much for coming to the in-store. These are awkward and strange. But I think we're gonna make it through, man. Let's try this one. This one part. We can't screw it up that bad. Across the river you can dance all night. A pretty little girl I left behind. I know you're not waiting on me. I know you're not waiting on me.
The way that the deal is set up, and if things don't work out, then we still have the record. Just allows us to keep doing it. You know, I think we'd be selling out if we said it was getting too tough and gonna hang it all up to go work a 9 to 5. To me, that would be selling out.
There's a whole entire group out there that are, you know, it's the 19 to 32-year-old market where they drink beer and go to see shows every night. And we're right smack in the middle of it. And it's amazing, you know.
We'd be happy probably anywhere we went. And all of the labels I think that we were choosing from could work this record very well. We just wanted to keep a little more control over it than we have in the past. And just, I mean, for me, a big part of it was just my father and just him not understanding why I had to sign away my records to someone else in perpetuity. And in this deal, I don't.
A lot of people want the money, a lot of people want the fame. And of course, you'd be lying to yourself if you picked up an instrument and stood on a stage and said that you didn't want that.
Well, hey y'all, thank y'all very much for coming out to our CD release show. Goddamn, Tuesday night and everything, look at that.
But when it comes down to it, the music is important, and if you're successful at making the music and creating something good, then that's what matters. And we're doing all right at it, I guess.
Now shut up, play that guitar. Just shut